YouTube, it's Cannon. I'm gonna go find my mommy. Yeah. Mommy!
Hi, Cannon.
Hello.
What are you doing? Are you videoing?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Mom. I'm making a video for your YouTube.
Hey, Cannon. Hey, you two.
What are you doing here? Is it boring? Is it boring in here?
No. This is where the magic happens.
It's magic. Okay. What is magic? I'm gonna see lots of money.
It's all the magic. You're too close.
Bam.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm making you have YouTube videos.
Can't spin. People be like, bleh.
I get to spin again?
No.
Oh. Hey, Mama. YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
My shows a little body. What's that playing?
Okay, can I have my phone back?
Sure.
Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Entrepreneur Girl, and today we're going to be talking about 8 surefire ways to kill your Amazon account and 8 ways to keep it in really good standings. Well, if you were like me, you got an email that said we have new restricted products here on Amazon. And you know that Legos was one of them. Kill me now. I love Legos. I love selling Legos, and now Legos is one of the restricted products. So that is the real bummer when we don't own our own forum that we're selling on. You know, rules change over time. Every place that you're ever going to work for is going to have rules. It's just part of the game, whether we like it or not. But the good news is that I truly believe that if you're trying to do a good job and you just do normal, adequate research, you're going to be just fine. So I want to encourage you today with this video and just tell you the main things to focus on with your e-commerce business. So first we're going to talk about the no-nos. Do not want to open 2 seller accounts. Opening a second Amazon account will get you closed down. I'm not talking about you have an account on Amazon Mexico and you have an account on Amazon UK. I'm not talking about different marketplaces where you have to have individual accounts. I'm talking about I'm selling here in the States and then I try to open up a second account for some reason. Amazon will not let you do this unless you have written permission. I wouldn't try. Number 2, selling prohibited items. There is a list of prohibited items and prohibited categories that's fairly easy to find. If you don't know where to find it, I'm going to place it in our Amazon 360 Facebook group and you can look at it there. If you have other items to add that's not on my list, please go ahead and do so in the comment section below just to kind of help everybody else out. And something pops up prohibited that we didn't realize that was prohibited. Or maybe you even purchased it and you brought it home before you realized. Anyway, we've all been burned by that before because it is kind of a moving target. It's part of it. That's okay. We're just mindful of it. But selling prohibited items that you know are prohibited because, well, someone else is doing it. I saw another listing. Someone on a Facebook group once said that different sellers have different permissions. Just because someone else is selling something doesn't necessarily mean that you can. Number 3, selling counterfeit items. This is the biggie. This is probably the reason why we have more restricted items to deal with now, and that is because people are selling off counterfeits. And I don't know if you've ever had this happen to you, but if you think about it from a buyer's perspective, one time I bought a Barbie doll and what I got was clearly not. It was a very, very cheap knockoff and I was mad. I now have a compassion for buyers that are buying products and they are counterfeit. And this is why I will not commingle my inventory. because I know that my items are legit and I want the end user to get my legit items. I don't want someone else commingling their inventory with my inventory. It's getting all mixed up, and then maybe I get a bad review or a return because of somebody's knockoff product. Number 4, making claims that you can't deliver on. Please don't put a cream out there and say that it helps cure cancer. You can't deliver on that. Or if your product is not meeting FDA regulations, Amazon will be quick to close your account for either of these. Number 5, products that don't match the Amazon description page. The product detail page has to match exactly your product. And I mean exactly. If you have the same exact pair of baby booties and they're pink with a little blue line, and the product detail page shows pink booties just like yours but with a little green line, you can't list under that listing. You have to create a new listing and take the pictures and do the work behind that. So many people don't want to go to that trouble, so they just piggyback on an existing listing that has an existing ranking and they just try to sneak it in. But people expect what they see, and if they think they're getting one thing and you send them another, 1, they're going to return it, 2, they're going to be angry, 3, you're going to get a bad review, and 4, Amazon is going to suspend your account. It has to be exactly like the detail page. It can't vary at all. Any variation in size, color, or anything has to be a completely different listing. Number 6, selling product in an elevated condition. I know that probably everybody has done this to some degree. If you have an item and you want it to sell, for a higher price point, you want it to sell faster and better, you have a tendency to elevate the condition of it. So really it's just like in fair condition and you put great condition. That's what we're talking about here. And you really don't want to do that. I actually now have learned I want to be lower. I might not get the exact price point of some condition that's higher, but my customers are going to be really happy with it. So if I'm on the fence about a condition, I will always choose the lower condition, because then when the customers get it, they are happy. They're like, wow, this is better than I thought it was going to be. And it makes them smile and it makes them leave good feedback. So do not say something's new if it's missing the original box. Don't say something's in great condition if it's like a library book with stickers on it. So you really want to be mindful that your condition is completely accurate. And if you are going to err on the side of caution and make it, a lower condition so that you're really pleasing your end user. The 7th way to get your account into trouble is to ignore your performance metrics. This doesn't apply as much to FBA because we don't have to deal with a lot of the same things that Merchant Fulfilled has to deal with. Things like making sure that you answer your customer email. Make sure that you answer it quickly. Canceling a bunch of orders. Maybe you ran out of stock. Maybe you were on different platforms selling the same item. Saying that you sent out an item, it was already shipped, when really it's sitting on your desk. Or choosing some slow shipping method like media mail from USPS. It could take up to 30 days for those people to see their package. So choosing a slow carrier or a carrier that doesn't offer tracking. All of these types of behavior will affect your ODR, your order defect rate. And this is the rate, your seller account, where Amazon looks at that and they determine whether you're a good seller, how you're doing. Even a defect rate of like 1 or 1.5% can get your account suspended. Number 8, directing shoppers away from Amazon. So if you're like me, I have my own website, and you may want to sell on your own accounts because you won't have to pay the Amazon fees. I get that, but it's too risky. Don't try to direct the traffic off of Amazon and onto your own personal stuff. Sneaky ways that I've seen this done is using watermarks on your product, so putting .com in your seller name. talking about your business in the description, placing outside links anywhere. These are just examples of ways that people try to sneak around to give the information to the customer without, glaringly giving it to the customer as, so as Amazon won't pick it up. But if Amazon does pick it up, then they will suspend your account. Okay, so now we talked about the bad stuff, all the stuff you don't want to do. Let's talk about the good stuff and the stuff that we can do, the stuff that we can focus on to really make our account awesome. Number one, the infamous buy box. This is something that we all try to aspire to get because once you have the buy box, things sell rapidly. So the buy box is a really big deal. It's also very mysterious because nobody really knows for sure how to get the buy box. We have a lot of guesses out there. Obviously, having a good seller account, having a lot of items for sale, being the lowest price. These are all ways to try to attract the buy box. Number two, select the right product to sell. So many times I talk to people and they're trying to sell these really big items and they live in a small apartment space. Obviously, you're not going to sell mattresses if you live in an apartment, so you want to select the items that really suit where you are, your lifestyle. I'm FBA, so I have a lot of freedom, but I'm still not going to sell, heavy pieces because I have shipping considerations. I'm not going to ship big furniture pieces. Focus on selling product that fits well with your space, fits well with your finances, fits well with what you're knowledgeable about. I love books, and so I sell a lot of books. But if someone that hated books were to try to duplicate what I was doing, it wouldn't work as well. There are other people out there that love clothing and they're really successful at it because they like it and they have a lot of knowledge about it. So they're able to kind of zero in on a particular product and do really well. They know how to research it. They know how to find suppliers for it. They know how to talk about it to customers. They know how to network with it. So it would really benefit you to think through the types of products that you're going to sell instead of just selling randomly. Number three, playing with the prices. Your listing prices on Amazon. Everybody just goes in and they try to match the lowest price. But that's not the only way, and it's not necessarily the best way. We all know that we do not want to undercut. If you try to go in, even if it's just a few cents lower, your competition might have a repricer, or maybe they're going to notice, then they're going to try to come in a few cents under you, and then of course everybody else that's listing the product is going to get in on the game, and then it's just a race to the bottom and no one makes money, including you. So we know not to do that. So say you need to beef up your sales rank. Well, you might want to, have a sale on your products and lower the price. But say you need to earn more profit, you might actually increase your price. And then with private labels, sometimes something that we raise the price of will actually sell better than a lower price. It all depends on how the end user, the customer, is looking at it and valuing it. Number four, profit margins are everything in our business. Never lose sight of this. We start talking about competition and ranking and product, that people start to lose sight of profit margins. They start to get overwhelmed, and then you're basically working for free. Profit margins are why we're in this business. It's how we make an income. As you grow, so does your inventory choices. You start to become wiser at the types of inventory that you choose. You start to be aware of the fact that you need a lower ranking. You start to realize that you don't want glass, you don't want electronics, maybe you don't even want clothing because it has a lot of returns. You really start to figure out what is a better inventory. And then once you figure out the better inventory, then you realize, well, it's harder, of course, to get the smarter inventory. It's harder to find. You have to scan more products in order to find the ranking that you want. You have to walk away from those $10 items that you started your eBay store on. Now you want to look for only $20 items, and it's harder to find. But when you force yourself, when you start to transition, into improving, then you start to become creative and you start to figure it out. You start to research, you start to learn, you start to watch YouTube videos, you start to Google it, and you start to figure out how to get, your end goal. Profit margin. Number 5, Amazon promotions and advertising. Amazon is really good at advertising products for you. I'm sure most of you have heard of the PPC, pay-per-click campaigns that you can do, and they're surprisingly effective. Number 6, you've heard me say it before, get ready for the holidays. We are going into fourth quarter. If you're on the Amazon Facebook group, Amazon 360, you heard me say I had my first winter sale, and I posted that because it's already started. The time is now. If you have not prepared yourself and positioned yourself for fourth quarter, the time is now to do that. But I was talking to a friend the other day and I told her, get a calendar out, because all throughout the year, there are hot spots for getting ready for the holidays. Some people make their whole salary in fourth quarter, and then everything else they make throughout the year is just icing on the cake. You don't want to run out of stock. You want to be forecasting what you think your sales are going to be. You want to be thinking through this. And how I did it was I got the calendar and I started marking through the year. January, I want to be mindful of getting all those 90% after Christmas sales. There's Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and Father's Day and all those little holidays that you can really bump up your sales. But there's always a holiday, right? And so you can always be having these little bumps in your sales. And then in fourth quarter, you got this huge mountain that really increases your sales for the year. You know about them. You're mindful that they're coming up. You're starting to get inventory a month ahead of time, so you have time to get the inventory, list it, and ship it in. Halloween. Halloween is huge. Throughout the year, if you go to a thrift store and you're looking at Halloween costumes, say at your Goodwill shelves, you will find them for like $1 or $2, or garage sales. Sometimes you can find 6 of them. Last year's Halloween costumes, and they're just selling them for 50 cents each. Those costumes that have been worn once, you can turn around and sell on Amazon or eBay for like $40. It's crazy how much profit can be in a Halloween costume. You could be looking for those all year. You can have a list of stuff that you're looking for all year. Like Legos used to be on my list and now can't be on my list. But other things, the Hot Wheels, now that I've been successful with that, I'm like, wow, Hot Wheels sold really well for me last Christmas. So you bet that I was looking for those Hot Wheels all year round. And then I'm positioned to sell them for fourth quarter. That's how you need to think. Prepping before season comes up. So I'm getting ready for Christmas now. And as soon as Christmas ends, I'm going to be hitting the after season sales. So it's like you're getting ready before it, and then you're like selling like crazy during, and then after you're taking advantage of all the sales so that you can do it again. Number 7, using Amazon reports on Seller Central. I'm really surprised at how few of the sellers out there actually utilize the Amazon seller reports. So I'm going to give you a couple of links, a couple places just to get you started, to get familiar with it. And I'm probably going to do a video on the reports and understanding the reports and where you can find them and what they tell you, because it's so important with your business. Here, selling on Amazon.com, you can just Google business reports and all the different types will come up. It tells you that there's basically 3 different types of business reports, and what they mean and how to navigate them. Okay, real quick, I just wanted to show you, if you are new to Amazon services and you're coming here and you want to start your free trial or your FBA account, go here to support training, because there's a wealth of information here that I don't think everybody is using. Another website is Selling on Amazon, just general help. Amazon has great help topics and great customer support most times. So if you have something that's not answered, you can just contact seller support. And here you can see, if you scroll down, that it breaks it down into all the areas that you'll need as a seller. And then you can click on this and see a whole slew of information on that topic, plus all of this over here on the left-hand side. Doing this, take a moment to stop now after you watch my YouTube video and pop over here to Amazon Seller Help and go through all of this. Just taking 1 week to sit down and figure out all the Amazon reports might be a tedious task, but it gives you so much information that you can use year after year after year. Knowing how much money you're making, knowing how low or high your inventory is, people using the promotions that you're starting, what are people returning and why are they returning it? What's selling of yours and how fast is it selling? These are all questions that can be answered by looking through those reports. Number 8, pack your boxes correctly. If you're packing to send to a customer, if you're packing to send to the Amazon warehouse, pack your boxes correctly. We spend so much time and effort and money on getting the right inventory. It takes us a long time to find inventory that's going to be really successful. So when you put it in the box, make sure that you pack it correctly so that it doesn't arrive damaged and you don't get to use the product that you worked so hard for. Make sure that it's bubble wrapped. No peanuts on Amazon. I normally have bubble wrap on the bottom of my box and on the top of my box and kind of on the side to make sure everything is snug. So when I pick up the box and I shake it, nothing's moving around in there. Those are our 8 no-nos and our 8 must-dos to help you keep your Amazon account in really good standings. I hope this kind of helps and will benefit you going into this 4th quarter. Now, on a personal note, this is the playlist on my YouTube channel, Real People, Real Lives, that I'm most fond of because we have lots of videos here of people that have made videos. They're also sellers just like you and I, and it's just kind of a behind the scenes. I think this is super beneficial because I don't want people thinking, oh, well, Tracy does it, but nobody else does it. These are all people that are successful at this. They're doing it. And I just think it's so important to see these other people, to get some different faces on the channel, faces from our own community. So if you are out there watching my video, I would really like for you to submit something. It doesn't have to be long, like 6 minutes, just some MP4 file. Just email it to me at tracy@entrepreneurgirl.net and let everybody just kind of get to know you. And you don't have to be nervous. It's just basically like, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, and check out my office, just something simple so that people, like that, and they like to know that they're not alone. So if you would consider it, I would really like to have some more of these videos because it's been a long time.